Music for a child's heart, body, and mind.
Alright, good morning, Asardonyx. You're welcome to another science class. How are you doing? How was your mathematics class in the morning? Alright, remember last week we talked about the various forms of energy conversion. So today we're going to be considering another topic, as you can see on your screen, heat and temperature. We'll look at the definition of the two terms, and we'll also consider the differences between these two terms. So today we'll take temperature, then subsequent time we'll look at thermometers and its type, okay? So heat and temperature are two related words. People use them, interwovenly. They are two words that are kind of related. They have one thing or the other to do with each other. Heat is a form of energy, like we treated last week and last 2 weeks. We said there are various forms of energy, right? But there are just two kinds. So heat was one of the forms we treated last 2 weeks. Heat is a form of energy and it flows from one place to another. Heat flows from one place to another, and it is useful in our day-to-day activities. Of course, we can't do without heat. For example, what we use in cooking is heat from fire, isn't it? So what happens? The heat moves from what? The burner of the gas to where? To the pot. From the pot to the content of the pot, which is the water or whatever food you have there. So you can see that there is a flow from one place, which is the burner of the gas, towards the food, and that is how your food gets cooked. Alright, so temperature on its own is the degree of hotness and coldness of a substance. Degree of hotness or coldness of a substance. I think we treated temperature not quite long in mathematics and we defined it. So it's the degree of hotness or coldness of a body or a substance. And it is measured with a thermometer. We use thermometer as an instrument used for measuring temperature, and it is measured in degrees, okay? So you can see another statement here that says heat causes a change in temperature. Note that is a very important information. What brings about change in temperature is heat. When heat is applied, temperature rises. When heat is taken off, temperature falls, it drops, okay? So heat causes a change in temperature. So quickly we take a look at the differences between heat and temperature. In as much as they are related, they have their differences. So number one, heat is a form of energy, we've mentioned that, but temperature is a quality or property of an object, okay? Number two, heat causes change in degree of temperature. We have said that heat brings about change in temperature, but temperature is what? The heat generated. Is the heat generated. Number three, the unit of measurement for heat is joule. That's the basic unit for measurement of heat. Of course, you have other units like kilojoule, but the basic one is joule. While the unit for measurement of temperature, you have Celsius, degrees Celsius. We consider that in mathematics. We have Kelvin, we didn't talk about that. And we have degree Fahrenheit. Don't forget, degree Celsius, Kelvin, and degree Fahrenheit. Heat is obtained, number four, heat is obtained from solar energy, chemical energy, and mechanical energy. These are things that can bring about heat. From the sun, solar energy, from chemicals, and from machines, okay? But temperature is obtained when a substance is heated or cooled. You have temperature when you heat an object or you cool an object. That is when heat is applied or when heat is taken up. That is when you have temperature. And number five, heat is the change that flows. I've explained that heat flows. I used the example of your gas cooker. The heat starts from the fire from the burner. The heat flows to the pot, from the pot to the content of the pot, and by so doing your food gets cooked. But temperature determines the direction of the heat flow. What determines the direction of heat flow is temperature. Okay, take note of that as well. So like I said, we're going to look at temperature today. Then we'll look at the different kinds of thermometer in our next class. That's the concluding part of the topic. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. We have mentioned that. It tells how cold or warm our body is. Okay? When the body is hot, the temperature is very high. And when the body is cold, the temperature is low. Take note of that. When your body is hot or warm, the temperature is high. But when the body is cold, the temperature is low, it has dropped. So the concept of temperatures comes from the idea of measuring relative hotness or coldness. So measuring temperature is as good as measuring how hot or cold a body is. That's what that is actually talking about. It also comes from the observation that the addition of heat to a body, when you add heat to a body, it leads to increase in what? Temperature. And the reduction of heat from a body, taking away heat or bringing it down, leads to decrease in temperature. That's a point I've repeated over and over again. All right? Temperature plays an important part in determining the conditions in which living matter can exist. These are important points to note as well. Temperature plays an important part in determining the conditions in which living matters can exist. For instance, birds and mammals demand a very narrow range of temperature for survival. Birds and mammals, they live within what? A narrow range of body temperature. Of course, in our next class, when we're looking at thermometer, we'll be able to talk about the normal body temperature, the temperature that is considered normal for human, okay? Now, also, the increase in temperature of river water by only a few degrees, and this the river water, the water bodies, by the time the temperature rises by a few degrees, maybe as a result of heat discharge from power plants, industrial waste or the likes, this will kill most of the native fish, because the fish are adapted to a particular temperature. So if there is a slight increase in temperature due to human activities, what happens to the living things in the water? They will die, because the temperature for survival has what? Been altered. It has increased. So the properties of all materials can also be affected by temperature. Of course, you know that the property of all materials can be affected by temperature changes. For example, when you have your plastic and you increase the temperature, you apply heat, what happens to it? It melts. The property has changed, didn't it? The same thing to ice. When you apply heat to ice, you increase the temperature, what happens? It melts, isn't it? The same thing applies to water. When you boil water, it what? Vaporizes and becomes steam. So almost all materials have their properties affected when there is a change in what? Temperature. So, Asardonyx, that will be all for this morning's very short class. So take your time to write a note and listen to watch the video very well. You will find your homework in the portal. That will be all for now. Bye.